Hello and welcome. This is the Queery Helpline with the one, the only Patrick Hopkins. Oh wait, you're on that side.
I'm okay. I thought I was in
and,
this. Whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
and I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. And today we've got some queries, some synopses, and some questions about the querying process that we're going to go over. So the first thing I actually want to share today is I just got the question, hey, I queried this agent at a particular agency in February and I haven't heard back. Can I query them again? Or can I query someone else at that agency? So the thing with literary agencies is typically you should only query one person at the agency at a time. A few agencies say if you query one, we'll share it around, don't query again. But a lot of them say once you hear back, you can go ahead and query someone else. But some agencies are, if you don't hear back in 6 to 8 weeks, consider yourself rejected. So I'm going to walk you through what that process looks like. So in the particular queryist queried someone at Awful Agency, which is Jabberwocky, the home of Joshua Bilmes, the agent for Elizabeth Moon and Brandon Sanderson and many, many other big names.
Yes.
So right now I just went to Jabberwocky Literary Agency and let's go ahead and find out. So we're going to click on authors. Oh, wait, no, that's who they represent. So let's go back to menu, contacts and submissions.
Yeah. That letting's
so
really bad.
Here are their emails and they say, let's see, they're important to us. Don't fax us. Let's see. Okay, they say check each individual agent's pages for specifics. So in this case, we're going to go look at the agents then. I believe the one in question this time is Eddie. So let's check it out and read more about him. Once the page loads.
It takes a minute, yeah. Whatever. I mean, okay. Right.
So that's what he's looking for.
That's nothing. Okay, up. How to query?
How to query? It didn't say anything.
Up. No, it didn't? Okay.
Sure. We'll look there. So
okay.
How to query was send your first 5 pages about get to a good stopping point.
A lot of the time they will say when to expect a response in that area or near it.
Yeah.
But in that, another thing you can do, and here's the fun thing about agents, information is inconsistent within the same agent and even sometimes on the same website. And what's so much fun is when Publishers Marketplace and the agency website disagree. Because then what do you go with? And sometimes Twitter says a third, yet even more confusing thing. So you can do many things badly. I would go the most conservative I could and go with the most limiting thing possible, because that way you run any agent can be nice about something or really mean. I assume everyone is evil because have you looked at the world lately? Or even not lately. And so if I saw a no from one is a no from all anywhere, I just assume that. But if we don't have any guidance and there's nothing on Twitter, because a lot of agents aren't on there, I would wait. I would pull it by replying to the email, let's say, that I used and said, hey, I'm withdrawing this thing. And then because agents say if you're going to respond on the same manuscript for whatever reason, whether it's a nudge or pulling it, to use the same email so they know who you are, that you queried them, because they don't remember thousands of them, right? And then I would then query that other person having officially withdrawn it from that one agent.
So the next place I'm checking is querytracker.net. I looked up the agent and I'm looking and it looks like they have a 56% reply rate. And because I have the professional, I can go into Data Explorer and I can go see where we have. So he did a bunch of rejections in June.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he just sat down all week and did them.
And these are all self-reported, so they may not be as,
okay.
you know,
So that's what he said he did? Okay, that's different then.
so.
How long has he been an agent? And is there any information about anybody there officially having an intern or some other helper person?
I haven't, I can go back and look.
Okay,
Definitely.
good. Because I would expect that not every agency says it.
Yeah.
Just because you don't necessarily want it. There are people who want to appear a certain way, and
Right.
it doesn't necessarily mesh with reality. And then there are agencies. I just think that it's unlikely that every agency doesn't have interns if they don't say they do. For example, Jessica Faust has interns, and that's fine. It's a good way to help them learn a process that is incredibly complicated. Because as much as we may seem like we know a lot, we know some things agents know a lot more because that's the job.
And there's also the fact that every agent works differently, and so while we can, know the generals, we can't know the specifics of any particular.
Not going to try to either.
So, since I'm not seeing any information here,
there's nothing there.
I would suggest that this person give the agent a nudge, especially by the 6-month mark. And if they don't hear back at that point, then go ahead and consider it closed.
Yeah.
So,
how hard would it be to look at that guy's? Did it say in the pro version how long between receiving the query and replying to it?
A lot of them were in the 1 week to 3 week mark.
Okay.
And this person's been waiting since February, so
Can you
it
go back
may have gotten lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, that would be another thing. And I have seen nudges work, because again, if you're getting 700 queries in a month, which I know is actually undershooting it for some agents, any one thing can get missed. All you have to do is put it in a folder or thought you did, and then you lost it, and something else happened, right? In 5 minutes. It's not hard to see one thing, right? So you do a real quick, hey, just checking it back with you on this. I know that life has been really hard, or whatever. You give them a space to have oopsie to thing, right? And then that will set them up to be like, oh, right, I was going to do whatever. And then whether it's rejection or not, you give them a little space to be human, frankly, because this is, something that people don't realize. I think a lot of them, agents get paid $0 to work queries. It's like being a parent; you get no money whatsoever. And if you're paying an intern to do it for you, that can be money that you're giving up if they're being paid, which they should be because it's skilled labor.
Right.
But if not,
I was going to say they're not getting paid to read your query. They're also not getting paid to send out the submissions for their new signed on authors. They don't get paid until they find an editor and sign you for a publishing contract.
Until you get paid,
They don't get paid until you do.
Requesting pages, they don't get paid. Reading the full, they don't get paid. If you give them 2 weeks to do that, to read your entire book while doing everything else, no money. Until and these days with all the agents and the editors who have left, there's I don't know what percent of them.
18% of YA literary agents have left the industry in the last year. Which is why I took a break.
Yeah. I'm happy that I won't be querying this year, because I would be, even with how sexy my book is, because it hits all the the marginalization notes. Like it's very gay, and it very doesn't matter because. So you want to nudge politely using the same follow up to reply to the email that you sent, because I think we saw that Eddie takes email. Reply to the email, say, hey, just checking in on this. Hope things with you are going well, or whatever language. But be kind, and then sincerely whoever. And I think then you just sort of wait. I would say at least a week, just as a even with him responding within a week, I would give it, because a week in publishing is about 4 seconds in normal human time. And that the policy does vary a lot by agency. But in general, I think unless you've been told, unless there's specific instructions to do not nudge, nudging is generally okay. Because again, agents get I've seen agents get about 1,000 queries a month, and you just can't. I mean, and some of them apparently spend north of 10 minutes on one query, and I'm like, how? Like I can, but that's their process, right? And they do this for a living, so they have some notion, right? And really, honestly, when I have read queries, when I do pretend partial requests, I look at the stuff as a not as what's wrong with this, but does this interest me? And that is a different mental process, honestly, because I'm not dissecting it by verb use so much. There are times when I can turn that off. I know you're surprised. You're not side-eyeing me. Let's I'm gonna get. Let's do this. Okay.
So looking at Query Tracker, I have learned that while he's moderately up to date on some of the queries, and some of them may have been skipped because he meant to give them a second look. The last request for pages that someone marked on Query Tracker was last May.
Oh wow, that's
so the odds are still pretty slim.
Yeah, we should also discuss the fact that some agents will skip around by genre or age range, which I learned like a month ago. If one agent does that, the notion that they are the only person who does that is simply, it's not, because they learn from each other, right?
Yeah.
And like, let's say that you've read a bunch of a bunch of horror right in a row, and then some bad thing happens, and you want to go to fluffy stuff. That's a pretty natural thing to want to change to, right? So if you can look and see, okay, this person hasn't responded to any science fiction in 3 months, whereas he has or she has responded to, say, adventure stories, that might be a good indication.
I have to admit, while I was looking through the Query Tracker data right now, I was trying to see if there was a page or a word count preference to the things that were rejected. Like, were they middle grade outside of genre expectations?
Right, yeah. 80,000 middle grade, 50,000 word genreless material that has to be published. No, thank you.
Right.
That's
but no, some of them are within the regular bounds.
Okay.
So that was just a question that came in that I thought would be really helpful. Are we ready to tackle today's?
Is Evie here yet?
Yes.
She is. Let's get her up here.
Hi. We've got your stuff and we're ready to rip it apart as gently as possible.
Lovingly.
Right.
I will infuse your query with verbs lovingly. Okay. Let me get to the document, and Evie, if you can open this, and either if you want, we moved your bio down so we couldn't see it as easily. If you want to move it toward to the end of the document, just to be sure, that'd be fine. Otherwise, it'll be there, and we'll do our best to avoid telling people anything about you.
Right.
Your name is Evie. Okay, the first sentence is good. Which is good because I know Evie. I didn't ask her to do this; she volunteered it. Okay. So this is
things that are good. The title is in caps. That doesn't need to happen, but it's not a bad thing. The word count is rounded to the nearest 1,000, and she picked one specific genre, which in this case is YA. Tells you the age range, but not the genre. Contemporary romance.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can look it up, but I don't think this is the kind of thing where including or not including is a problem.
I think contemporary romance is standard.
I'm just thinking like there's contemporary fantasy versus fantasy, and also if I saw contemporary science fiction, that might be a problem too, because it can be set in the future a ton. A lot of that stuff is 2183 AD. All this stuff is happening. If you have a contemporary in there as well, that can be a problem.
I think contemporary fantasy is a subgenre, though. That's pretty.
I can undelete it easily enough. I haven't checked it recently. I used to do queries a lot. I don't anymore, and so I've lost that sort of memorization part of it. Okay.
So, California Dreaming is a 71,000 word standalone young adult contemporary romance. I don't think we need the word standalone. I think
because series versus standalone, right?
Usually, I think you leave that out, and if you do have series potential, you put that in. Because all books are assumed to stand on their own.
Yeah, but a lot of them don't.
True.
Yeah. Having dealt with, I mean,
yeah.
1600, the hip's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an unusual way of dealing with this.
This is very telly.
This has a lot of information that I think we can, some of it we need here. I think a chunk of it we don't. And this long thing here, right? We don't need all of this. I don't know how much of it we do need yet, but we don't need all of it. It looks
close to maybe a log line if instead of one MC, we had a descriptor of the character.
Okay.
So
I don't know Cardigan. I do know the Beach Boys. Is Cardigan a surfer song-ish thing or not? I don't know Taylor Swift. I have heard about 7 seconds of Taylor Swift. I heard enough to understand the value of it, but also be like, this is not for me at all. And that's fine.
I think that could appeal to some agents. I would leave it in.
Yeah. I don't know what Taylor Swift enough to understand how that meshes with the Beach Boys, because the Beach Boys don't write about their ex-boyfriends all day.
They do write about California girls, though.
Yeah, that's not an ex-boyfriend, Morgan.
It might be an ex-girlfriend.
Let's move on to things that are not Taylor Swift, please, because I don't like to talk when I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
I'm not sure about the second sentence.
This one here, or this one.
I think I would probably say something more like for fans of
it may appeal to fans of blah blah blah. Yeah, that's I'm just like, before we understand how much of this sentence here needs to die versus stay, working on that fix for that area is not really doable, honestly. So I gotta figure out what this is. Okay.
I would probably say with the mental health struggles of LD Crichton's All Our Broken Pieces, crossed with Sarah Dressen's introspective dynamics. I'm not familiar with those authors, but I
don't know anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't, if it's not a picture book, I don't know it, because I don't. And YA romance is such a huge category anyway. Okay. Does this mention him? Yes, it does. Okay. No, I don't like the distance. I don't like how there's BFF and Lucan. It just feels a little distant and not useful. Like, there can be useful distant is a thing with tone, but that's not tone. That's just.
So, I'm going to read the next paragraph aloud while you get to it.
Okay.
17-year-old Emma would have stayed home for the summer if it meant ice cream dates with her wry BFF. But Lucan is busy working and getting girls' numbers, apparently. Plus, she's already read everything in the local main library. So she jets to LA for a research internship, determined to gain independence and find out if her unhappiness is due to the isolation of their small town, or if her ADHD is making her oversensitive to everything.
I know what this is. Okay.
This is a synopsis.
So we have had this discussion before, Morgan, and I will remind you. What is a synopsis, Morgan?
It tells us what happens in order.
In the whole book, right, Morgan?
Uh-huh.
Is this the whole book? Is this the whole book, Morgan?
I don't know. I'm only in the first paragraph.
Okay, so can we say that this is a synopsis if it does not? What do you mean by this synopsis, Morgan?
I think the first paragraph in a query should be the character, what they want, and what stands in their way, not here is the pretty setting. And it's voicey. It's definitely voicey.
Okay.
But I feel like this is more of a blurb than a query.
Okay, here's where I think we sort of agree. Okay, is sudden. Oh, so we established the summer. We established the BFF. Yes. We established the BFF's character, which is about to be a very bad thing. Yes. We establish she likes to read. Okay, these facts are unrelated. We establish LA internship. Huh? Another unrelated fact. We establish gain independence. Another unrelated fact. We found out she's unhappy, which is sort of related-ish.
There
We
is
find
no
out that she's
mention of reading anything.
isolated. We found out about ADHD. We have a bunch of disconnected plot elements that have been thrown in like, hey, here are things about her. Okay. The way to fix this.
They're clearly needed for the story, but we don't need all of this in the query.
We have, let me count these up. Okay.
And
cream
I mean,
dates, Lucan, main
getting
library,
a research
LA,
internship takes a lot of work. It's not just
unhappiness,
on board.
isolation, ADHD. We have 9 plot elements in this first 5 lines. Okay, fitting those in to one paragraph is very hard. So good job. However, you are going to kill us with detail. We don't need all these. We can't use them. This is, you're trying to combine 3 stews into one, and that's not how stew works. So we need to pick things. And here's the fun thing about this. I have worked at previous versions of this query. It took me about 10, it took me into the Lucan sentence to realize that I've seen this already. So we need to pick thematically significant plot elements and stick with them. I would generally not go with more than 4, and 3 is usually a pretty big lift. I did manage it with 3 with someone about a year ago. She was juggling coming out, cancer with coming out with a best friend thingy happening, cancer, and family abandonment issues. That's a lot, and that was 3. This is 9. So we need to pare things down. You are not, think about this. Okay, it's the query goes to first third. It's not the entire plot. It's not the entire main plot. It's a representative sample of stuff that's interesting and connected. And lady, no. We need so we need to pick some things. Evie, can you tell us what should stay, what should go? I can figure it out myself, but if you can tell us.
I just have to say that LA internships seem really hard to get, and seems.
Yeah, well, we need to include the reason that she moved.
He's busy, so I'm gonna get an internship that I needed to have applied for 3 months ago.
A year ago, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, fortunately she managed to get,
Yeah. So are you here, Evie? Can you type anything somewhere? I can't see private chat. That's why.
Nothing in the last minute.
Okay.
She said, lucky 9 like a cat's lives. That's how many plot elements we need.
Yeah, we do not. I'm sorry. I cannot. I mean, I love you, Evie, ish, but like 9 now. Please pick. We need to have LA. Okay. We need to have the LA research thing has to be there because it's why she goes, right? That's the book. We need Lucan. Can we combine independence, unhappiness, and isolation carefully?
I'm thinking about it right now.
Define happiness in a something. I mean, words that I can find eventually. But we don't need the ice cream dates because we're about to leave Maine anyway. And also,
but Lucan shows up, so I think establishing that.
Well, he's in that. I've read this thing before, and he's a big part of this book.
Yeah.
So we can't just delete him. Like I saw, I don't know, 6 months ago, something like that. I can't remember. I have no sense of time anymore.
Right.
Because the pandemic just destroyed the sliver of it I had left. So okay, let's go to the second paragraph where I can actually just destroy this right here. Okay, before we have burning out, before we know what we're burning out from, there's a little bit of an exposition problem. So we didn't, okay. Okay, do it, go ahead. It's placeholder, but that's fine. We didn't know she was on medication, so that can't hit as hard. This is, again, plot elements that we haven't introduced yet, which is a problem I can fix before. We didn't even know he was there. Okay, we there's a narrative consistency which we don't have yet. So, I remember writing this many months ago. Yeah, let's descend. It's not really. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I see how to do it. All right, that's cool. We're good. We're good. It's just a matter of doing it. Okay. So we need to establish in the first sentence that she's not happy. Instead of merely saying that she lacks something, we need to, she. So there we have what is stay home versus mope, which I think is it more obviously tells us or shows us that she's not happy and that it's someone else is the problem. When you need someone and they're not there, that's a big reason that you're not happy. Having lived that life, okay.
Oh, you hate gerund phrases.
It's not gerund. That's not a gerund. That's an adjective phrase.
It starts with a verb, though.
It
gerund needs the ing.
Is determined. That's a predicate adjective, in fact. Grammatically, she is determined is, I think, identical to she is a lawyer. That's about her, not what she's doing, right?
I don't know about this wiping the small town off her boots, but just trying to play with it. Hello and welcome, Heather's here. And did we say hi to Bonnie Lurking?
Okay. Hi, Bonnie Lurking. That's a weird name to have.
Some people like descriptive names.
Okay, we have to decide. Okay. Do we need the ADHD, or can we toss that plot element? And I don't mean to seem insensitive, but it is literally a plot element. You can be unhappy without having ADHD. That can be not the reason. And I don't get the impression that the issue is the ADHD. I get the impression the issue is Lucan.
Yeah, but there is the plot point of skipping her medication.
Is it in the stakes? Is it anywhere else but that one sentence, forgets medication and meals?
Nope.
To me, it's a fact about her, but it doesn't drive enough that I can see here to say we need to keep it in. If I were querying this with an agent or an agency or whatever, publisher, something like that, that wanted to see neurodiversity, then I might, because if she is forgetting that medication and meals, there's other stuff in the plot that's also happening because of that. If the book is written well, and that's what we could show, if we want to work that as a part of the main plot, right? But I don't think we need it. Number one.
In her comps, though, she calls out mental struggles and introspection.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But we do talk about anxiety, and I think that's maybe the more core part of the mental struggle than the ADHD. Even though they do,
I'm familiar.
Go hand in hand.
Today I was told that my love of picking apart naughty jewelry, Knotty, You realize now it's apparently a thing that makes me different, and I love it because it's a fun little puzzle. Anyway, go on.
I'm going to read aloud the next 2 paragraphs before we totally butcher them. So soon she burns out on big city living. Pushy interns pass the buck on projects to chat, and Emma forgets medication and meals. Street fights regularly interrupting her sleep. When she breaks down to Lucian about her anxiety, he shows up outside her internship with a cut lip and a warm hug that melts her heart like pinkberry on a hot day. The relationship sparks, swept up in sandy beaches, loaned hoodies, and a shared bed in her studio apartment. She's finally happy and makes him happy. However, Lucian keeps dodging her questions about their future and his injury with kisses and chores. At a beach birthday party where he fights with the interns and keeps pulling her away, she realizes staying with him means losing any sense of community swallowed in codependency. On the verge of a breakdown and a breakup, Emma must choose. Don't rock the boat to keep her dopamine supply happy, or confront the complications of their past and risk going home alone, more miserable than ever.
Okay, I know how to fix that.
Okay, so in the comments, Evie says that she sees what we're saying, but the ADHD does tie highly into the rejection dysmorphia.
All right. Good. I can read it too, but
okay. And anxiety, depression, and is part of why she's struggling with lateness.
Okay. Then we need.
What about she's determined she doesn't need him despite her ADHD, and then just roll on from there?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how that works.
Okay.
Okay, so.
Or we could just put in the second paragraph. Emma forgets her ADHD medication and skips meals. Maybe she wears sandals. Let us know if she's a sandal or, heels.
In LA, if you're wearing boots, you're going to get destroyed in about 4 seconds with sweat, especially in the summer. Yeah.
So maybe she's in heels.
Whatever. I mean, but even Maine in the summer, boots. I'm not sure that's going to happen. And
oh, it doesn't sound like they disregard her work. It sounds like they're dumping work on her.
Oh, then change it.
Okay.
Oh, I see it. That's yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How does Lucan get there? Because he's busy.
We don't know. He won't answer questions.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that we have a sudden Lucan sighting, and it's not seen as a shock, which is either poor exposition or poor exposition. She calls him in the synopsis. Yes. This is why I always request a synopsis with the query, because the synopsis, people feel less constrained by it, and they give me detail that I need, and that way I can, because if the more I have to bracket, the more I kind of go, oh.
So here, we put it in order for you. When she calls Lucian and breaks down about her anxiety, okay, we don't even need the win.
No, because I've taught this, okay, when you tell me friend, I'm not looking at what happens here, I'm looking at what happens after, okay? And the worst thing you can do is tell me stuff doesn't matter, okay? Because if you tell me it doesn't matter, bye-bye, I didn't read it. Keep me in the moment. Because when, honestly, might as well be after. And if you say after a thing, who cares about the thing? What happens next is clearly what you think matters. Breaks down is not a good verb. I don't know.
Do we need an and here after the comma?
Alrighty. No. Oh, hold on. I think yes, that's because we tossed the adverb. He shows up. He shows up. Okay.
Pinkberry's like froyo or something?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I knew enough to say, okay, this is a scene element that I don't need to know about. It's like Taylor Swift. I don't need to know. But if we had Pinkberry and, or Julius, I'd be like, do those go together? Because I don't know.
I'm just hoping
Okay.
Amy answers.
I have a problem with the idea of a relationship being swept up in anything. People can think relationship is not a physical thing. This is placeholder. I don't mean for this to be the end. I just have to get this. A relationship can't be swept up.
The relationship wasn't.
It was. Yeah. Relationship sparks swept up. Relationship swept up. That's the noun. There can be no other noun. You have to have a noun to be swept up in, right? What other noun is there, lady? Tell me. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Oh, was I right? Yes. I have a noun too. Not even a verb.
Okay. So Pinkberry's soft serve.
Okay. Am I straight? Like that. Okay, cool. Whatever. It's anyway.
I kind of hate that wording.
What?
Your relationship sparks on sandy beaches and in lone
Placeholder, lady.
Okay.
You see all those nouns? Do you see that plot elements list? Do you remember how I feel about plot elements lists?
That they're beautiful.
That must be it. So here's the problem with plot elements list. Okay, you're telling us the things exist in your book. All right, my book has dragons, is what you're saying. I don't care. How do you use them? What do they do? Do they do tricks? Are they in school? What is happening, right? There is a shared bed is a nice thing, but it's not, it's a fact rather than plot. I don't know that we need the chores here. Like, I get that it might be an important thing to this book, but if the thing is the romance, then giving her romance instead of answers to me is enough of a distraction show.
Or if you want to show how they're really settling into like the couple life without the romance, do just the chores. But I'd pick one.
Well, you could, if you want to do two, you need to show it more thoroughly, and I don't think you need it. But again, if the book is, if the chore is a big thing, right? Then just show it. I'm happy to be wrong about stuff because I don't know the book, which is an asset, but also a detriment.
I don't think we need to know it's a birthday party.
I don't think, no, I really, okay.
I think all we need is party.
No, not even that. And decentering. Okay, this is bad or good decentering though, because sometimes it's actually good. Staying with him, we didn't have a sense of community with her. Codependency, we can do that. Okay, I just, as book version the book view that I have from this query doesn't give me a sense of community that would be concerning to lose, let's say. Because what we've seen so far, okay, is interns punishing her, basically, or not caring about her, right?
So I think the question is, are they dumping their work on her to chat, or is she ignoring their cues to join their chat? Because she doesn't.
We don't. I mean, I can look in the synopsis for that.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure we need it, because I think that we have enough with the boy that she likes is busy. She leaves him. He joins her, right? Do we need more? I don't think so. We could get her. We could get that internship as bigger factor, but I don't think we need it right now, because we got a focus on it's a romance, and
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I you could use it. I don't think you need it, because it's a romance, right? So the romance is the plot, and we've got girl misses boy, girl leaves, boy joins girl, boy won't answer girl's questions, girl discovers boy is turning into something she doesn't want to be. It doesn't matter why. Now, girl has to decide whether she wants to be happy, fake happy, or leave boy. That's enough plot to me for a romance, right? And then the LA is sort of a skin on it, basically.
I mean, we do have to show how it's both like other things in the genre, but also different. So we need some level of boy meets girl, boy is a jerk, girl likes the physical aspect.
Boy flies across the damn country, lady. Jerk, not yet, at least. Do you think Maine to Los Angeles is cheap?
No.
He's calling girlfriends. He's calling girls, not redeeming frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
Anyway, he becomes evasive, which I think is absolutely bad, because relationships are built on communication of anything else.
Yeah.
I don't need to go more than that. Okay. She will stay with him. She'll.
I think that he's been isolating her.
Okay.
Because she doesn't have any other friends, and
she
can fight with other potential friends.
She loses herself in the world of him, right?
Yes.
Because Sandy Beach, Maine has beaches. They're rocky though. Having lived near there. The hoodie thing.
Already become
2 of the 3 things that their relationship sparks on could happen anywhere. They're not unique to LA. Okay, loaned hoodies anywhere. Why would else that be kind of warm? Whatever. And the apartment thing. What's up?
It gets chilly in the evenings.
Does it? Okay, it's June, but whatever.
The waters are always 60 degrees though.
Okay. We have 3 huge nouns in a row.
I think she's already become isolated and codependent. I don't think she's going to become it.
Okay. That's an Evie question.
So, and she realizes she's become isolated and codependent, on the verge of a breakdown and a breakup. Even is true. We've never had any complications.
Yeah, that's. I wrote an entire thing on you can't surprise us with a plot element in the stakes, because we don't have the emotional connection to it. Like if they had been on again, off again since they were 11, right? That would introduce. We have to rewrite the query for that. That's less bad, at least.
Is behavior IO?
Behavior, yes. It'd be behave war, which is
war. So
we have the behavior is present next to the chiffre zero. The avoir goes near to it. All right.
So Evie says their past is with their hometown.
That's still vague.
It's very vague.
What did they do? Or what did someone do? What happened? What did each of them do? I need one thing. A verb would be great, but I could use a noun.
Being from the same town is not actually a complication.
I mean, we are from this. You and I are from the same area, and that doesn't tell anything about the complications of our past. We do have a complicated past. It is not romantic, but we do have a complicated past. It is not.
So I think, her is don't rock the boat or confront his behavior.
That's vague still.
We just said she realizes she's become isolated and codependent.
Morgan, behavior could apply to any of that 9 million nouns. We can be more specific, right? Even with a verb.
Wait, what?
Or demand that he stop evading her questions.
Ooh, okay. So,
what? A verb.
So Evie says her issues, she's isolated by her family, not a lot of friends because of an accident her grandmother was in, and he's from an addictive family. And how do you talk
that is all that is way outside. Okay, that's good. Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I don't think we need it. It is so far outside of the focus of this plot. I don't think we need it. Yeah, confront secrecy. No, gross confess. No. That's way decentered. Demand that he tell her blah blah blah. Why he is singing along. Also, why would she go home in this case? Like, what? He's not paying for her apartment that I can see.
Well, I think the internship is gonna come to an end at some point.
We don't have any information about that in the query.
It's an internship.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. We haven't had any sense that I understand interns end, especially summer internships, but we have no sense from the query that the internship ending is a concern to her.
Okay,
with this relationship
we could toss in so she accepts a summer internship.
That's still not the thing. Okay, the issue is him, right?
Right.
Internship ending is a separate thing.
Mm-hmm. I think it's making home even more isolated because she'll have lost her best friend when she goes home, and she'll have nobody because she only has that one.
But she already had nobody because he was away. Yeah. There's a way I need to understand some things about this. I'm reading the third paragraph synopsis. Okay, that doesn't help us or hurt us.
Risk. That's finishing high school alone.
No, that's not because high school alone with someone isn't a concern. High school's not a concern, right? It's all the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how about lose her best friend?
Maybe.
Because
but we haven't seen the best friend. All we've seen of him as a best friend is not being there, right?
Yeah.
So that's not. This is why I'm trying to read the third paragraph.
There's a difference between a best friend and an only friend.
Yeah, I know.
So okay.
Don't ask me how I know. Okay, let's just be here. That's okay. That's nothing. Okay, nothing. Okay, this might go too far into the book. Evie, does this go past halfway in the book, this query? I think it does. You can go up to halfway, is what Alexa Dunn says, and I am in no position. I will never be in a position to tell and turn on that. No. And also, when you try to squeeze in 2/3 of the book into 200 words, okay, that's fine. All right, cool. So the going home alone thing, I now know what it is, and working it in, we'd blow up our word count. We'd have to zoom out so far, and it wouldn't help us.
He's clearly been getting into fights.
Okay, hold on. Just trash. Sorry, I lovingly,
Yep,
but
do
you know, explain. I mean, that's not the right word. Because again, the Home Alone is so much. It's an entire subplot, and you can't, because we have this length is decent right now, but if it would be a solid edition of 100 words.
Yeah. So, question: which is better, and if they are a couple, or if this is
put the couple first. Put the couple first. Yeah.
Or if this is only a summer fling.
We can toss the cut lip. Yeah.
No. I'm saying.
I don't think we need it, honestly.
I think she really wants to know that answer almost more than.
Okay. Is it keeping you from kissing him? Is it keeping you from sleeping with him?
It's evidence he's getting into fights and not telling her what trouble.
There's something that, because she's continuing with him even though he has keep it in.
Yeah. I mean, they are actively a couple.
Yeah.
I think the question is this a summer fling?
Okay. Well, Evie knows. ADHD, I need a note on that. Okay, so we need an ADHD note in the first paragraph. I don't see where to put it. Evie, can you accept and reject everything here so we can not deal with all this color and have a cleaner thing to re-edit? Which means you need to get in the document because it's only Morgan and you right now. Because the alternative, there we go. Thank you. All right. And then we'll fix that top sentence there in that first paragraph. We'll fix eventually, but that's more of once everything else is done, because you have to understand the book to do that logline stuff. And I didn't know I'd already seen it. Placeholder. I'm not saying anything about anybody's ability to do whatever. That is a use of the term so that we have it there because we need it.
Right. I'm okay with adding the ADHD.
We need it somewhere. We can't just go, oh, by the way, in the second paragraph. That's trash exposition. Because we have. Okay. I see what happened. Okay. This. Was it there? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and. Okay, and keep going. It's whatever. We might need an ADHD measure in the third paragraph. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to staple it on and have it not feel stapled on, which is the thing.
I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Oh. Placeholder.
Sometimes in this situation, the writer happens to know something that is relevant to the plot and thematically useful, that doesn't get us, zoom us out, and I can put it in and we go, oh, yay, let's move on with our lives. Hint, 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 hint.
Ooh, I like this, but not the placement.
I can delete this if you know that.
Maybe she doesn't need him and she can succeed despite her ADHD.
If that's the book.
Meh?
It's placeholder still.
Also misspelled. Okay.
That secondary, honestly. I've seen misspelled words in queries. I have not seen as many poorly used plot elements. A thing I should mention with that, there is no such thing as a perfect query. Has never been. Well, there can't be, and here's the reason. The job of the query is to get a request. That depends on the agent, not the query. Because you can have a bad query and get a request because the idea is, interesting. I have seen passive ass queries get a rep.
Sometimes all it takes is them having a really good lunch and being in a great mood.
Or you have an idea that is just that good. I have seen books get rep on partials, not even be full. The Devil Wears Prada was a partial that got accepted. And there are two others that I know of. Because the idea was that good. Or someone thought it was. This is not a way. You should not be querying on a partial. You should not be querying on an unedited full, because you don't want to blow your one chance with that one person.
Yeah.
It's like, one misspelled word, who cares? Because the right agent is going to see what we're doing is we're showing a world of ideas, right? If the you in busy is missing, does that make the world less? No. It means you didn't press F7, and who cares? Because an editor can fix that. A copy editor can just press F7 and do whatever. But being able to communicate making us care about the character, our copy editor's job is not to do that. Because hi, that's not my job. Okay.
Is it street fights or street shootings? We are in LA. Or are the street fights foreshadowing for Lucan's punches? Oh, okay. Arguments. Okay. Shrieking street arguments.
Yeah. Using modifier for arguments.
I know. Yelling in the streets interrupt her sleep.
It's better than that, but
I'm sorry, the word fights makes me think somebody's getting punched or
that's
killed.
what I thought it was, honestly.
So I think we need a replacement there.
Yeah, that's fine. And shouting in the streets interrupts her sleep. Interrupts. Shouting interrupts.
Neighbors?
What?
Oh, she has no clue. It's trash cans and shouting. Who knows?
Interrupts. S. Shouting is a noun. Singular. Thank you.
We're on the street, not in the street, right? Because you can be on the street.
Interrupt. To myself.
I almost want to do sparks fly here. I don't know. Ignore it if you hate it.
I mean, yeah, that's spark fly can be very bad or very good. Expires not thematic. That's placeholder at least. All right, Evie. Accept or reject and tell us if you like this. Because it was already pretty close in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had worked it before, so I happened to,
Okay, she didn't hate sparks fly.
Yay!
I'm just gonna put that out there.
And honestly, 2 words is not a huge deal. It's not mistakes. It's not the first paragraph. The middle is the best place to make a mistake because he will forget it. That's science, by the way. If you're gonna have a bad moment on a date, have it in the middle because as long as then pay for dessert and everyone will be happy.
Hey, if we already mentioned ADHD, can we just do medication rather than saying it again?
If you want to do that, then do that.
Because I mean, we do want to talk about the ADHD, but we don't want it to read like it's an issues book.
No, why not?
So I think too much emphasis on she has ADHD.
We mentioned the mental health in the first paragraph, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, I would actually say we need a reference an ADHD mentioned here in the final one, because we do have mental health here, but dopamine supply is not ADHD, as far as I have ever heard, and the way that we've been referring to it up until now is not consistent with dopamine as a reference to it here.
Yeah, it did strike me as a little.
Especially with capital letters, your brain is very good at saying, ooh, that big thing, right? Whether it's a bear or a capital letter, it's still a big thing. We don't have that here. And an agent is going to see that and be like, huh, that's not the same. And they might infer something, but we don't want that. We want this to be real clear. So I would prefer to have the ADHD thread continue here, ideally in the stakes. But I don't know where it would be because I didn't see that in the synopsis, which is fine. Well, no, it's if it's in the query, you need the synopsis, but I wasn't reading for it at that point. Oh, son of a... We have to rebuild the first paragraph.
We can't just list them all here.
Morgan, please read silently the first sentence of the synopsis and then throw things.
17-year-old Emma Sanderson finds a reason to visit her outdoorsy BFF, Lucan, on his shift at the general store, despite her parents pushing her to focus on her upcoming LA trip. She plans to ask...
we don't need more than that. It's already broken.
Yeah.
Now look at the first paragraph of the query. What's wrong with this picture? Do you see it?
Oh yeah, she's already lusting.
She's already the internship thing is a late introduction into Query. She wouldn't be moping through the summer. She's preparing. If she's moping, it should probably be connected to the fact that she's got that internship thing and she wants to do something else that isn't apparent from the query. And it's a pretty key thing to me. So how you built it in?
I think 17-year-old Emma wants to hang out with her hunky BFF, but he's busy flirting with other girls.
We still need the internship. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
17-year-old Emma would rather spend this summer with her hunky BFF Lucan, but she's got an internship coming up. Oh, okay. Technically, the girls are hitting on him.
That's better, but again, the issue is the internship. Basic placeholder text. That what we need? When I use blah, that's when you can tell that I'm really just not.
I want to put in an adjective.
How nice for you. Also, Rye doesn't appear again.
Yeah. I want to put in something that shows she date. Okay, you put in date. So where is LA?
In California. Across the across.
Not halfway, all the way.
Would you like to know why? Would you like to know why?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
Yes. Okay. So as you know, I have lived in Virginia for most of my life.
Right.
And my first job after college was in Texas, which is halfway across the country. I think about Texas and I hate it a lot. So halfway across the country was me thinking about Texas. And it was a modifier. You know I get modified. It wasn't a verb. If it was a verb, I would have been fine. Hometown is capitalized this. Even hate capital letters. She already accepted it. So she. Okay. You and your adverbs, lady.
Hey, Laura.
Okay. Evie, sorry. Can you accept reject? Then I think the only thing I'd like to get the ADHD thing in the last paragraph, but I don't think it's essential. And I think this is okay-ish enough. Thank you. Is there an easy way to work in the ADHD in the final paragraph, Evie, or not? You know the book, I don't. For example, Some people with ADHD fixate on certain details. Does Lucan suggest that her ADHD is the reason she's focusing on his lip or whatever other thing? Because that would be another wrench to throw in that relationship, which is where I'm trying to hang the ADHD there to be really evil, but also because it makes more compelling stakes.
I would say right there where we have currently on the verge of a breakdown, that's where, with her ADHD,
That's yeah, but it's
and
an EV
depression and anxiety, combining to push her to the verge of a breakdown.
Oh, wait, I'm going to go to synopsis. Let's see how long it is. My first concern with synopsis is always length, because length is the hardest thing to do.
Oh, hey, no, 1 page. Look at that.
That's
or just under, just over.
611, so that's okay. That's fine.
I'll just put it on its own page.
Thank you.
It fit perfectly. I'm very excited.
It fits with the word synopsis on it, which I shouldn't have. Okay. But it's for.
Fortunately for everyone, he doesn't use her mental health like that.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that's Evie and a different account. Okay.
It is.
If you can, Evie, if you can put an ADHD thing in that final paragraph or not, and then we can just move on to the synopsis. That first sentence there. Okay, that works. Okay,
right, cool. I was scrolling up to see what we had.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, you work on that. I'm going to start reading the synopsis aloud for those of you who are listening and not watching. 17-year-old Emma Sanderson finds a reason to visit her outdoorsy BFF Lucan on his shift at the general store, despite her parents pushing her to focus on her upcoming LA trip. She plans to ask Lucan if he likes her, but she finds a girl's number on his bookmark and concludes she must be reading too much into his recent affections. Lucan tempts her to sneak out back and eat ice cream. He vaguely tries to convince her to run away with him, but she thinks it's a joke and makes him promise that he'll take her on a quote-unquote date when she gets back. In LA, Emma's determined to prove she can thrive without her usual support systems. After a stressful day of missing meds, work instructions, buses, and social cues, Emma breaks down and calls Lucian, who comforts her despite how long it's been since he last messaged. The next day, he surprises her with his bloody lip and a bone-crushing hug. They go on a promised reunion ice cream date, and it does feel like a date, hand-holding, flirting, and anxiety galore. Emma pushes as to why he kept his trip from her and where this reckless affection is coming from. He confesses he needs her. They kiss, swept up in a grand gestures and hormones under an infinite starlit sky. Despite the joy of newly discovered feelings and the domestic bliss of living together unsupervised, Lucan's passion and helpfulness almost feel like a distraction to avoid thinking or talking about Maine. During a beach day, Lucan gets a job as if this isn't a vacation at all and repeatedly tries to go off alone or alone with her. A fellow intern making a play for Emma accidentally outs Lucan's visit on social media. If Emma's parents find out she's been using their resources to support Lucan and not cultivating independence as promised, they'll cut her off and widen the rift in her family. First mention of that. Emma's on the verge of a breakdown and a breakup, so Lucan confesses that he ran away from his painkiller-addicted parents to camp somewhere warm until he can be emancipated. His visit was supposed to be a last happy memory before he ran away for good, but now he thinks that she should come with him. Anxious about college plans and Lucan's future, Emma begs her family to help, only to be rebuffed by them and Lucan, who's upset she's betrayed his confidence. She breaks down and offers to cut everyone out to keep him, afraid that if he leaves, she'll never see him again. But it's not something either of them can live with, and he recognizes it was unfair of him to ask. Emma ultimately decides to go home and face her family. Before she leaves, she and Lucan trade each other's priceless personal tokens, which strips them of their armor but gives them strength to face time apart. Very vague. She plans to graduate with friends and apply to colleges across the country on financial aid while he makes his way alone in LA. Both hopeful to reunite with a healthier balance in regards to the relationship and community. Back in Maine, grounded Emma makes amends but doesn't quite feel at home anymore. She sends letters to Lucan, establishing boundaries with her family, and finds a new routine to help with her mental health. Maine neighbors abscond with Emma to the ice cream parlor to surprise her with Lucan, who took her advice about reaching out for help and will be staying with a neighbor. Restless after being apart, Emma and Lucan sneak into her bedroom, grateful that they can dream of, beside, and with another at last.
My sound isn't working.
That didn't quite parse right. So, okay.
Morgan,
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Hold on a second.
Sure.
I need to leave and rejoin and see if that works.
Laura Nettles says, they made a donation. How do I submit my first page? Pretty please. DM either of us on Twitter or Facebook, and we can get you email address, and then we'll go ahead and put it up. Yeah. So. There you go. Here. So yeah, just DM either of us, either on Facebook or Twitter, and we can sort out details. You'll need to send us a receipt and either a link to your first page, or you can just send it directly to us in an email. So. Oh, Patrick, you bounced out for a minute.
Yeah,
Welcome
I
back.
found out an interesting fact. I
Okay.
have muted you because I can't work things while you're reading incredibly slowly.
I understand that.
It's not you, it really is me, because some people can't.
No.
So I muted you, and I also unplugged my
Camera.
my thingy here. Yeah, my sound, and that meant that when you plugged it in, this no sound, and if I can't hear you, I can't make fun of your nouns. And what would we do then?
I know. I mean, there could be adjectives and adverbs and all these modifiers
Three
that we're
consecutive
missing.
adverbs, Morgan. Think of that pain.
I mean, did I tell you that because of my octopus people in my current work in progress? Instead of lists of 3, I have lists of 4.
Morgan,
I'm letting you have a moment to cry.
You are making piles of nouns. Like torturing me will get us more donations.
I love nouns so
I know.
much. Oh, okay. Excellent. Laura opted for the Discord version. So, but confirmed.
As long as we have the thing, that's...
Yep. Yeah, I can't do anything with audio background either, so I can't make fun of you.
Morgan, I have been made fun of for much worse. So if you did, I would be like, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Macaroni and cheese means just as much.
Yep. Okay. Let's see.
There's some things I think there's a little before they blah 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 that is non-linear. but it's okay. The most important thing for me in a synopsis is it's clear, because so many people, schools do not teach you how to edit to length because it's incredibly difficult, and because it's a skill that teachers just don't have. And moth. And so writers don't have it as a skill, and so they don't know how to chop details. Right? What's wrong?
Oh, Laura
You have
says
moth
I
too?
can't be DM'd in Twitter.
I
Per-
sure can.
Perhaps I set it up that you have to friend me first, but I
Yeah,
should
I sure
be
can.
able. Wait,
I sure
wait,
can.
wait, wait. Is it Morgan Hazelwood or Morgan Hazelwood? Because there is someone with 0 followers and 0 following and 0
And
tweets
nothing,
who
anything,
is
it's
sitting on my
there's
name.
anything in your life. Yes.
I don't think I'm close to DMs.
Or if you can send it to me.
But she messaged me on Discord, so
okay,
we're
all right, whatever. As
so,
long as you got there, whatever, that's fine.
yeah.
All right. So I think this is. I'm not trying to fast forward here. I just think the synopsis is understandable, and I don't have any questions.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think there's anything that's really dropped. The one thing I will say, we don't see ADHD here ever. And if you're trying to do mental struggles and you're doing the ADHD references in the first and second paragraph of the query, having them in a synopsis would be good. The other option you have is to toss them and have the mental struggles be the dopamine stuff. But something needs to happen there, and I don't know the book enough to say what it is. That's something we can work in the subsequent stream maybe, or so. I don't know. I mean, in the group.
Yeah. So there were a couple things that called out to me as I went through. It said something about widening the rift in her family, and we hadn't mentioned that there was a rift.
Yeah, flag it. Yeah.
So it would probably be somewhere here.
I saw. Okay, this is the one. I saw this. Okay, yeah. So Evie had tweeted like a month or whatever ago that blah 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 cards through my hair. Some of her betas or something had been like, huh? And I see it here, and I'm like, oh yeah, this does not make sense, because I see this thing that looks like a noun, and so it's extremely jarring to me. And so I would strongly recommend that you find any other verb at all.
Where are we?
Second paragraph of the page.
Oh, okay.
Down about a page from where you are.
This is the second paragraph.
The page.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's why I said the page.
Could you highlight it? Could you put your cursor
I
there?
can, yeah, there. Go scroll down, lady. Just keep on scrolling down. Down.
Oh, we're on first. Sorry.
Yes, the page, part of the page. He said lovingly.
Sorry. When you said page, I thought document page, not manuscript page.
Oh, yeah, that is, that's a thingy there. That's, yeah. I'm not like this with most people. I'd be way jealous. But I've known Morgan, what, like 7 years, something like that.
Something like, yeah.
It's been 7 years since you know. But it's been a while. That was first year I entered Pitch Wars, which was God, a lifetime ago. That was fun. Let's not discuss some of that.
I was reading the story and totally not listening to you anyway.
Yeah, that's probably for the best. Okay, no, that's not possible.
Oh, okay. You're right. I don't allow DMs from people who don't already follow me.
Huh?
Can you imagine having strangers add you to group conversations?
Yes.
I've already had so many random direct messages where they added 25 people to the group to send a buy link.
Yeah. My other account is for politics. Well, this one is too, but the other one was more so. And the number of group DMs for no.
How was I not already following you on Twitter, Laura? I don't know. But that's fixed. It could have been because I didn't follow you back yet, but it's sorted now.
Such.
Oh, it's in present tense.
Yeah, flutters. I will have. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine. It's definitely something that people like.
Yeah, it's I've redone Brianna from past tense to present, and there are changes.
Yeah. Should half expecting be hyphenated?
Maybe I'd have to look at it again. Yeah, I guess. I'm more focused on like, why are we talking about him eating leftovers? Okay, this detail here, I would build this into that sentence above, because real estate in early pages is so essential, and you have that one scene, right? Well, give me that detail up there, right?
I want to add commas.
Yes, like you want to add nouns, because it's.
I think the war on commas is wrong, but yes, it's definitely a clue about his home life, and does demonstrate her ADHD train of thought. But
Okay.
On a first page, maybe some, but not too much. I don't know what the right balance is, though. It's a little tricky.
So, good thing about this is that it isn't full of backstory. We have seen that in many pages where it's like, I have an entire 50-year thing. I have maps. I have charts. Let me show you the others. No. That's that story, which is not this story. And so I like that this is actually, things are happening. I had a client last year, and it was, okay, polite way of saying this. He was eager to fix problems, and he had a sentence of dialogue, and then the rest of the first page was backstory, which is death. Yeah.
Unless, of course, you have a prologue.
No. Oh. Morgan, what's wrong with this? You know this. Go ahead. Do it.
Where am I?
On the second
okay.
page.
Emma on your knees.
First page. What's
Mom
wrong there? What's that? What's that issue? What's that basic craft concern? Morgan, do it.
The squirming at the same time you're saying, but you can squirm and talk at the same time.
An action tag and a dialogue tag. Do you need both?
No.
No.
You should probably pick one.
You should pick one. I would go, Mom squirms in her seat. Emma, your knees. And the reason, if we have her doing something, her action thingy tells us who's speaking.
Is Mom squirming though? Because if she's telling you about your knees, I would think
Mom
that
says squirming in her seat. Yes, she's squirming in her seat.
I think she would be sitting up straighter, or correcting her posture. Squirming seems uncomfortable.
Mechanically speaking, what I have is based on the language. You have face taboo.
No, definitely.
Thank you.
I think this is
Okay, I'm not going to try to listen to Grateful Dead right now, but is that folksy?
Are we in the car right now? I think we are, because otherwise we wouldn't be talking about the front seat.
That's alongside makes more sense now. But it's not clear until we get to the recordings, I guess.
So is it 9 hours in the car? Wait, no, we're going to the airport in the car right now.
My guess is that Maine doesn't have that many direct flights to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because Maine is Maine. And she's flying. She's driving a couple hours. Because again, small town in small. I bet you looked that up just to be sure, because yeah, no.
I am from I grew up south of just outside of Williamsburg, Virginia, and my dad had a tight budget, so when we would fly to visit him, he would fly us out of BWI. Which, for those who don't know about the DC metro area, is basically in Baltimore and not in DC. Or there are 3 DC airports, and all of them are an hour to an hour and a half closer to my mother's house than BWI. And divorce law is that you only have to take your kid as far as the state line, and Dad definitely pushed that. And it would be a 3 to 4 hour drive home for Mom, and I would take the flight to Dad and then get home, and Mom would still be driving.
Another interesting thing here is that this area's public transit outside of Metro is most charitably described as a dumpster fire. And this includes business travel. BWI has lots of business travelers. Mm-hmm. Dulles has far more because Dulles is near DC. BWI, I have gone from Fairfax County to BWI. It's not easy. You have to want to do it. So, and this was 20 years ago.
Yeah, the Metro will take you to close-ish. Reagan National. It will take you to National Airport. Dulles is west of DC, but has a highway tollway that you can pay to
free. You can.
Oh, if you're going to the airport, it's actually free.
The actual airport is free.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything else is $1.
You have to pay up.
But BWI takes some effort.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Metro, and you have to take like a train to the airport, and you have to want to do it.
I would assume that you go to Union Station and then take the train from there to.
You do. I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. I did it in high school.
But anyway, I'm just saying I'm familiar with small town and driving 3 to 4 hours to get to the airport.
So Maine, driving from a small town to an airport is going to take a minute. I would say traffic in the summer in Maine is not that awful. But then again, you're going to be flying to, my guess, either New York, Pittsburgh, or DC. and then you're gonna have a layover there, and you're gonna have a flight, or Chicago maybe, and then you have a solid 3-hour flight to, and the layover could be a couple hours.
Yeah. So I think we need to establish. I mean, we see the summer breeze flutters from the front seat, and I'm not sure why the cards are going through the hair, but
no, that card is a verb. Card is a verb.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I marked it.
That takes more than one read, and that might not be what you want on the first page.
That's why I wrote. Yeah, this verb is weird. I would recommend a more normal verb, because like you're going to be jarring there. Because my first thought, and I saw that tweet where you were like, card blah blah blah, is this weird? Yeah, it's going to pull people out, and that's
could we do like a summer breeze from the front seat of mom's car?
Something,
yeah. Establish
or from the window, the driver's side window. Because a breeze is not going to come from a seat. It's coming through a window. Having said all that, I think this is pretty close.
Yeah. Winds through my hair, twirls, twists
something
through my hair.
That's going to take a little bit of work.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get like, finally. Then we have good action tags after that. Lupine stuff. Yeah. Oh, I would not go lupine down here. It pulls me out. We haven't had that level of word choice here.
Where are we at lupine?
Down.
Okay, next page.
That's what I said, down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I hear lupine
stalks. Okay, when I hear lupine, I think wolfy thing, and that's a plant. I'm just gonna mark this as fixed, because this isn't.
I start thinking we're in a shifter romance.
I don't need to see stalks. Just purple plants is fine.
Sorry, I don't know what my plants are. I'm not a very good gardener, planter, outdoorsy thing.
Okay.
Is it folksy music, or is it just folk music?
I thought Grateful Dead was. I mean, I know Bill Wong worships that stuff, but I don't know enough. It feels weird.
Technically, it's rock, but yeah. Okay, I guess we can go with folksy. It's totally hippie.
We should get the other page soon. This is.
Yeah.
One,
we do.
2.
Okay. Oh, I stopped reading. I'm sorry. Emma finds it hippie/folksy, which is fine.
Okay.
And her dad would totally call it rock.
Let's go to that other first page.
Sure. We're gonna stop here
Evie,
for
if
now.
you need more from us, I can holler at you later. Okay, I need the link there. Just please.
Yeah, sure. 2 seconds. I put it in the StreamYard private chat.
Okay. Oh, I see. You need a thing here. Okay, that's.
Yeah.
We have 3 chats.
All the Okay, let me make sure this is big enough to read. But we still need space for the comments. So, Nightmare Lane, totally jumping genres here by Laura Nettles.
Oh, hold on.
Chapter 1. I'm going to read. You want to mute me? Okay, so Jimmy held his breath when the strange old lady arrived on Nightmare Lane. She slid like a shadow across the cement walkway. Her bright red hair, pulled away from her oddly shaped head, matched the shiny paint on the front door. Her eyes darted from house to house as if looking for something only she could see. Men worked to unload the van, sweat running down their foreheads in the heat of the August sun. They were not moving boxes labeled with the usual stuff like books, clothes, and dishes. Instead, they were carrying huge lights, fluffy beds, and plants, lots of strange plants, bags and open boxes and pots of bizarre plants, even a sky blue tea kettle overflowing with creepy vines, reaching over the sides as if trying to escape. Why would someone bring all those weird plants with them? 12-year-old Jimmy Carson asked his mom as they watched the action from across the street in their own brown, withered front yard. Jimmy was tall for his age, pale and freckled. His mahogany-colored hair was sticking up in cowlicked spikes from sweat, even though he was standing in the shade. Wouldn't she need clothes and stuff like instead? She can buy useless plants at the nursery in town. And why does she look so weird? Mrs. Carson shrugged. She was tall, blonde, and thin, wearing capri pants and a flowy shirt with geometric patterns on it. Well, they must be special to her. Those pink peonies do look lovely. I wonder how she will keep them alive in this climate. She glanced down sternly, poking Jimmy in the shoulder. And be nice. I'm sure it's a medical condition. The movers were now handling humongous thorny rose bushes and placing them in the front yard of the single-story house. It was actually one of the more ordinary-looking homes on Nightmare Lane. Jimmy was sure the mansion next door to his own home with gargoyles on the roof and grounds was haunted. And he was positive he could hear invisible horses in the stable behind the house halfway down the street. At night, he swore he could hear voices and see bubbles of color floating from the well in the front yard of the waterlogged home to next to this new plant lady's house. Sorry, this strange new plant lady's house. The only weird thing about this particular building was the ominous front door that always looked as if it was painted in fresh, wet blood. The shifty older woman, wearing a long yellow dress, green gardening gloves, and huge red rubber boots, was directing the workers where to plant the bushes. So, okay, Patrick, I stopped talking. Okay. So I'm getting the feeling that this is a middle grade adventure since our main character is 12 years old.
I
think it's probably going to be a horror story in the vein of Goosebumps.
I'm not sensing adventure, I'm sensing fantasy. Because the plant-based magic is so
but
we have in the first paragraph we have the vines. I think that the reaching of the vines is the writer telling us too much, and especially with the exclamation point.
So, yep, middle grade horror. So,
it's close. There's horror.
How much? I haven't written that much middle grade. How much more explaining do you do with middle graders than you do with maybe YA or adult?
Yeah, I have. Can we pull? We can. Okay, here's something I happen to know. when you are doing what's called criticism, which isn't being mean, it's looking at aspects of things, you can use other media. So can we pull a recent middle grade horror first page and compare them? Laura, do you have a comp that we could use for this, ideally, or something else? I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it, and I don't want to believe that is unlike it and say, oh yeah, no, this is bad, because I don't know the genre of hatred.
Right.
But if you had fascinated some of them, we can look at it. And
I think the real question is, are we spelling it out too much? Should we cut back a little bit on the
this right here is very, very telly, and it reads to me like you couldn't find a better way to do it. But if that's the job, then I can just ignore that.
Told you, Goosebumps
Ancient. Oh, okay. Hold on. There are 200 Goosebumps. Hold on.
Yeah. Are they still coming out with new ones?
Let's see.
I think so.
That's 1992. I'm gonna suggest, and this is me being gentle, agents who know middle grade horror and see that you have written based on a book that was published when I was 11, because I'm not 11 anymore. That might be a slight concern. And let's see. Okay, let's go to books and preview. Okay, yeah, here we go. Morgan, hold on a second. I'm gonna get you the first page. Come on. All right, I'm gonna do a screenshot and then. Goodbye, David. Okay.
If we could get a comp from maybe one of the lighter ones. Oh, she says that Fright Watch Stitchers is a more recent one.
Okay. Let me give you this thing. Here I put 4. That's a book. There you go. Okay. All right, that's the Goosebumps. And
that's 2020.
Fright Watch Stitchers. Okay.
The Stitchers, but yeah. And it didn't even come out in paperback until August of last year. So.
That's better. All right, let's see here. I don't see the Stitchers. Let's start that. Okay, I see the collectors.
It's on Amazon, and I've got the first page.
What's up?
I got the first page from Amazon.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, put them side by side, please. Just like we did last week.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just need to.
Yeah. Take time. Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna remove this, and what I need to do is share my window instead of the.
Yeah.
So.
For those of you who didn't see the last one we did. We compared first pages from a while ago, and that's what she did. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I couldn't read on this. Why not? It's smooth.
I think one of the biggest differences I'm noticing right off the bat is much shorter sent paragraphs.
Yeah.
So, like, I would probably. We talk about Jimmy's action here when we're talking about her, switch to another new paragraph. And then maybe switch to a new one for the men are working.
Change the to that and see how it feels in the first sentence.
When that.
It makes it less of a known thing. That strange old lady, right? Reverse the orders. When that strange blah, blah, blah. When, blah, blah, to Jimmy held his breath. See if that gives it a better spooky feel. Can you move the window in so we don't, I can see
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. Yep, fine.
There we go. Try and make it a little bigger. If we're not fighting.
There we go. Yeah.
When that strange old lady arrived on Nightmare Lane, Jimmy held his breath.
Okay, I know what this is doing now. I figured it out.
Okay.
Okay. This is repeating nearly universal truths. Okay?
Yeah.
Know for certain, always late. Can hear, almost leans so close. Nearly identical except, right? There's a strength to that we don't, the only place I see it, okay, something only she could see is the only place I see and that might just be an introduction, initial feature of this book. No, it keeps going. Finally joins one of his smirks, which is inferring that there's a certain quality to those.
Look at all those beautiful adjectives.
Your mother. Ever gonna be on time? Some people.
So here we have a descriptor paragraph because we started off with dialogue.
Just as if. This is a descriptive paragraph.
So we do have like paragraphs describing a single person.
Spider leg, okay. Spider leg, plastic looking, layered gold, shimmering, emerald, elegant knot. Those descriptors do not match what we have in the Seeds of Doubt. It's just simply not, the word choice is different.
Well, we've got, shiny paint.
Shiny, that's not the level of emerald or layered gold, though. Spider leg lashes?
True.
We have
What
nothing that
color
matches.
Oh, but we want to hold off on talking about the shiny paint because it's going to be bloody at the bottom of the page.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have to get me to read that far, honestly.
Yeah.
Sky blue isn't dangerous to me.
Is it rose red hair?
No, rose is deeper. That's honestly, that's something where the writer needs to find a word for that.
Apple red?
That's innocent. You don't want innocent here, do you?
The apple's not innocent in Snow White.
That's nice. Is this Snow White?
I don't know yet.
Okay, apples for the teachers. No, that's an ancient reference. Apple to me is not danger. There's words for it. I just don't know. I mean, that's not,
Yeah.
The point is that bright red is not what you need. I mean, you're trying to scare me, right? You have a shadow. You have a gliding. I would say gliding across like a shadow, because sliding is just not the right word. I would give the odd a word, like give it, find a word for it. If you're gliding, also if you're sliding and gliding, something about the bottom of what you're wearing is flowing in a certain way, and we can't see that. All we have is you gliding, and then we move way up your head, and that removes from us the experience of what else do you look like. We don't know she has feet. Give us what you see. Give us no. For example, her skirt flowed as she glided across, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't think this one is as elegant as the other example, though.
Well, it's a Costa, right? I would begin with the August sun, and then give the men moving boxes out of the van, and then give the lights, the beds, and focus on the plants. Because as is right now, you have men unload, they're hot, they're moving, but we already know they're moving, so we want to connect those dots. This is a mechanical thing. Okay, for his mother to not correct him first on calling her weird, tells me that she's, what is it?
Or maybe this should be interspersed dialogue.
That's not how kids talk. What is he? Hold on. If my kid is saying something like that, she's gonna keep going until she gets what she wants to say out, or she's gonna get frustrated. She's 9, 12 is similar emotionally.
So maybe she hushes him first and then.
Okay, I'm speaking as a father right now.
Mhm.
If my kid asks me why someone brings some weird plants with them, my mouth is opening
Oh, true.
to start to say, don't call them weird. Tell me what is interesting about it. Because I don't want to. Because if she says weird, she's about 2 seconds away from running over and yelling, Hey, what are those weird plants?" And that might hurt someone's feelings, and I don't want to have to deal with that. Especially if this one is gliding like a shadow, right? And her head is odd, right? And we don't have a physical reaction to this either. We have him being hot. We don't have him like worried about it or intrigued anything. There's no suggestion of how he feels about the plants and her looking weird. So I would add that. Which, and in that descriptive thing, you'll have space for mentioning his skin or whatever. Because we have 2 sentences here that just are, here is a description of his character. You can do that more elegantly.
Maybe just, he scratched his mahogany hair.
Yeah, although I wouldn't. Yeah, mahogany hair is weird though. But yeah, it's something. So I would first caution about the weird, and if I don't see that caution of the weird from the parent, that's weird to me, because it's our job to keep kids from saying stupid shit.
Yeah.
And for that reaction to weird to be that late in the
Yeah. Now
I would
this
put that
part
first.
is an info dump. Like, I'm okay with one example or two. 2 examples is fine, but we have the mansion.
This is we can discover this later.
Yeah, we have the bubbles, and we have this one. I think we need one fewer.
That a good way to do that would be to have him discuss this woman with a friend and be like, as you know, Bob, these other houses have these specific issues too. This woman is the latest whatever thing.
Yeah, the best way to integrate and as you know, Bob, is not to just say it, but to have people complain about it. Because people will naturally complain about the same
or a
thing
recollection
over
of something that happened at a house would also
yeah
would give you backstory without doing an info dump.
or
Because he's gonna have a friend he's gonna want to impress with. Hey, I saw this weird woman. Her hair looks like coconut. So I would again the weird when he had the weird plans, that's for his mother not correct him immediately concerns me. Oh, that went away. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. No, you're good. That's
Okay.
what are you doing? Oh, you're tabbing. That's right. Did I do that? Okay. Nope.
Sorry. I was just trying to find the right tab. I didn't realize it would do that.
Is what's her face still here? Laura?
Yeah,
Something.
Laura
Okay.
asks, was debating having Jimmy walk down the street with a friend at the beginning so to get past all the weirdness and then see the moving truck.
So do you understand what I'm saying about the mother and the weird thing? If you're trying to show that she isn't concerned about how he sounds, that's that's fine. It's just like, because I get that a lot of middle grade stuff is parents not being all that involved, which you have to do for dramatic purposes. Okay, good. Because I've had people be like, no, you may parent like that, but I'm okay. I'm chill. I just let my kids experience it. And okay, that's nice. You're raising your kids to not be concerned about it. Whatever. Anyway, those conversations don't last very long. That's a block and move on. Okay, let's see. Is that the last of the page we have there? Okay, that's the end of it. All right, yeah, that's still.
But yeah, still much shorter paragraphs. So I would, like here, I would probably break it there. And then here.
Oh, interesting. Look at the dialogue tags.
They're all italics, which is weird.
Nope, that's not the thing. Stop scrolling.
Sorry.
Plead. Wink. Whisper. Go down one line. Press. This isn't Ashton said. Let me load the sequel.
I'm going to scroll up and see if that was just because we were talking back in time. We have an ask, nothing, action, laughs, action, nothing, action, calls, snarls.
Sequel's the same thing. Hold on.
Whispers, shouts.
So in the sequel here we have hold on a second.
Nope.
Moan, asks, admit, praises, tell, says, mumbles. Yeah, this is not said and asked. This is a stylistic difference, and it's good to know about. And I would suggest that you use it because it's showing character in verbs.
Whoops. So what I just did was I searched all the instances of said in the example, and it's all in the dialogue when they're talking about Dad said we could do this.
Mm-hmm.
So and definitely lots of use of italics for like texting and emphasis.
Mm-hmm. Which again speaks to everything matters.
I think navy blue at least would be creepier. I don't know.
That's more uniform color to me, which is not creepy at all. What? Navy blue is a uniform color.
I know. I'm just trying to think of a creepy blue. Slate.
Decapitated doll head blue.
Bruised.
Yeah. I would also go stronger than as if trying to escape. I would give them agency, like over the sides, like they're trying to escape, to give the situation more of an immediate sense of danger. Nope.
Yeah. I like your examples. Blue, the color of frozen lips, poisoned apple red, but they're too long.
Yeah.
Fresh scab red. I don't think of scabs as red. I think of them as
They're
pink.
brown.
Yeah.
This is something where you can go through various concepts.
Yeah.
Because I don't like saying only no without giving you another option. Because anyone can say I don't like that, but give me something else. It takes.
I think you could even get away with cherry red hair, you know? How is her head oddly shaped? Is it lumped? Is it oversized?
Does it look like something weird that you can identify?
Is it something that a boy would, say football shaped, or I don't know? Or, you could go straight for the punch and say her bloody red hair. But I don't think it quite works. And cherries can get deep and close to blood. It's just, yeah. Oh gosh.
What's up?
The head is literally a human mask over a seed pod skull, so it's
not okay. That's
sticking quite right.
Okay. Well, think about how that would be shaped and then do something similar. I mean, pumpkin shaped? I don't know.
Her face seemed to sag.
We need to have a face thing, yeah. We need to have a face show here.
Is her nose not like stick out? I think we need the word "the" back in there. She had a face like a pumpkin with a deflated nose. I like it. She glided like a shadow across the cement walkway. I don't want she again.
Jimmy did something with his face, but hers, blah, 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 pumpkin didn't whatever thing.
I think I don't know what "iped" was supposed to be. Oh, wiped. There we go.
Just a placeholder. This is just a concept.
Sure.
I know what I'm trying to do, but it's just not. Hold on.
Ooh, they meet on the next page.
What? I had whatever it's done.
She glided like a shadow across the cement walkway. She had a face like a pumpkin with a deflated nose, and her bright red hair, pulling away from her oddly shaped head, matched the front door. Oh, I think we were going with cherry at least, or something slightly more descriptive. Okay. Her eyes darted from house to house as if looking for something only she could see. What? I think she's just looking for something. Otherwise, maybe she's watching something only she can see. But if she's looking for something, it could be anything.
The unknown is the thing here.
I didn't know clown blue was a color, but okay. But to Jimmy, it could be. With the movers thing and talking about the different houses, I almost want to say, the movers were placing them in front of the single story house, not the mansion next door to his house, the mansion next door with gargoyles on the roof, nor the house halfway down the street with the invisible.
We know that we don't want to. We want to keep the focus on what they're doing, not what they're not doing. Also,
okay.
If they're walking past something, yeah, but I mean, he will know who's in those houses, so it's not a surprise to him.
Does he?
Okay, this right here means nothing compared to something. All right, are these thorny bushes, are they so big they obscure the guy's faces? Are they really tall? Are they wobbling as they go? Right, there's ways to show size of it.
Struggled? Are the movers struggling?
Yeah, you can do it with the verb. Oh, Morgan, you cared about a verb.
I do care about verbs. I don't just love nouns and adjectives and commas. Although I do recognize you are not using Oxford commas.
I never do.
I want to know if the Stitchers does.
Yes, one there. Good. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yes, that's another one. That's a third. We have 3. That's enough for me.
So, I love my Oxford comma.
Send a message.
I mean, I totally understand a withered brown front yard in August.
Yep.
Oh, ooh, okay.
What's up?
They are bushes the size of a 5-year-old, and
There you go. Good. Put it in. That's a fun detail right there.
yeah. So okay.
Okay, this gardening gloves thing. You're directing her where to place the bushes. You can use a glove to do that. You would point, and that's how you pointing a green gloved finger at blah blah blah. Right.
Oh, she's wearing a yellow dress
Okay, and
huge rubber boots.
so we already know where to place them. We have that twice in this. We have them placing them in the front yard and directing them. Here again, we can combine those references because we don't need to repeat world building concepts. See this right here, and then this right here. We
Oh,
this is basically the same thing twice in a row, which becomes much less interesting.
how about we just go straight to bunk?
But again, we're going to rebuild that with as you know, Bob part.
Okay.
And you can change that in a lot. Their options are pretty robust. You can go, for example, I swear I hear invisible horses in that stable, blah blah, and then your friend goes, and those voices and the colored bubbles, blah blah blah. Right? You don't need that insistence again. You can build off.
I think they should be talking about the time they dared each other to do this.
That's a way to show it. Yes. Yeah. And they can build on that with some sort of activity they're gonna do with this plant thing. They're gonna like get a a leaf from the vine or whatever to show they were there or something.
And Jimmy chickened out of checking out the well.
Well, Timmy is stuck in the well. It's kind of scary.
I mean, that's why you need a lasso. I mean, lassie. Sorry, I cracked myself up.
I joke with the wife's mother about how Timmy was always stuck in the well, and she got very upset. She does rescue work, and she says that people are getting stuck in rural wells is a real problem. And I'm like, I'm joking. And she's like, it's a problem. They can get bruised and they can get infections. And I'm like, and you can get way worked up about a joke. But she will, it's but she had me make a spreadsheet one year for how many miles they had driven as rescue squad. It says so everyone has their own thing, like me with verbs. Her was actually being stuck in a well. That was really something.
Okay.
Anyway,
So it is coming up on midnight.
Did you need to go?
And I do have a day job.
Yeah, I do too. I hear that you can take naps at where I work. I would never do this, of course.
Right.
But if you don't have to wear
Yeah.
pants and you can,
I'm working from home tomorrow. Tomorrow's not a bad day. Today, I had to go into work, and one of the places I do work is a hangar, and there was no AC in one of the hangars. And
so did you die?
I stood there and sweat dripped off of me. Yep. And I said, if I pass out, drag me in the AC before going for help.
Notice the verb there, dripped, is very...
I do like dripped, yeah. So Laura says, thank you so much. Super helpful. If you want more, we can definitely do more. Yeah. I think there's a lot for you to work with now, and maybe we should wait and then take another pass. The only other thing I was going to mention is your page is not in manuscript format, which is usually double spaced with no extra lines between the paragraphs. As I often say, in publishing, anything under one page is single spaced and anything over is double spaced, and that's why the 2-page synopsis doesn't exist.
Your perpetual concern. This is Morgan Bingo we're talking right here. I wanted to say also about the certainty of the language always and never, all that. If you look at The Collectors, which is the sequel to this book, pretty normal, always dressed, sometimes other stuff, makes us laugh, always. There's a quality here that I'm not seeing in this, and if you're looking to imitate it, that might be one way to get it there. And you have it some with you're sure you can hear stuff, but that seems it isn't built that as consistently through it.
Why did we change from old woman to older woman?
Did I change that? I don't think I did.
No, it's in here.
Oh, she did. All right then, yeah. I was going strange, honestly, because I don't. The age is less of a concern to me than like old women are in everything. They're irritating like that.
Yeah. I'm thinking strange or weird here.
Yeah, or like an attribute of her, like the pumpkin face woman, something like that would because if you repeat a strange detail, that
because we already used weird in this paragraph, so
okay, and then I would not use weird there for that building because you were trying to focus on a woman.
Yeah.
Odd. You can build the yellow dress up above when she's gliding. And if you can think of something, is your right eye leaking too?
Not really.
No? Okay. But I mean, for us to have that whole description for us to know about the color of their lawn, but not see the color of her dress until there, is role building. You can work on there.
I think it almost fits better here.
No, because she's gliding above, right? If you're gliding, then you're seeing the dress. We're not seeing the shoes, right? Well, how can we even see the rubber boots? We're going to see the dress first, right? And the gloves?
Yeah.
And if she's pointing somewhere, we got the gloves we can show. But I would do all that in that gliding area.
But we haven't talked about the plants yet.
We can do that after we have her glide, right? Because that's the order of the exposition. I don't see a reason to change that. I mean, we have a focus on the strange old lady, right? If it's No, it's not grass cement. She can combine them in a future draft, let's say. But like it's there you go. Yeah. But you have to use these opportunities to do these things. And then if she's pointing somewhere, you can have the gloves. If she's gliding like with an arm out or whatever like that. Oh, be quiet! It's leave my bedtime. I cannot unget my phone to give me a bedtime. It's very. I'm watching out for you, Patrick. And I'm very.
So, hopefully we let you know that we enjoyed your writing, even though we tore it to pieces. There's definitely a lot there to work with. We weren't throwing out chunks.
Yeah, I think it could be really good. You just gotta. There's a couple things there. I have seen much worse. Is one good thing we don't have 8 years of backstory, which I know I keep focusing on, but it's because if you have a first page, I've read a lot of submission packages, and so many of them are like, here's the thing, and then the backstory marches in, and no.
I love my prologue. I love my prologue so much.
I will burn your prologues and set them on fire and baninate them, and they will be charred. And I will use your prologues as fuel for Forged in Fire, which is to show that
what are you making? Is it a dagger to cut the commas and adverbs out of my writing?
I'm making a signature blade in my signature style, which means nothing. It's always like, I like how this blade is exactly like what a campknife should be. That's your signature stylus for the Sears catalog stuff. Whatever. It's all supposed to sound. It's supposed to sound dramatic. And the guy that had to replace Will Willis is terrible.
They replaced him?
I think that he's doing something else. It's not that like they don't want him around, so he's doing something else. But I mean, this guy is just no. It's okay. Remember when what's his face from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the mother was replaced with somebody else, and it was like, that's a black woman, but that's about all that's the same. It's worse. I would say that watch the first 5 minutes and just see how he's like, I'm a person too. I have emotions like a human. I am able to gesticulate. It's just, and like, they couldn't find anybody else. Like, that's a popular show.
Yeah. 9 seasons in.
And Will is not there for the, yeah. Because I did some research on some things.
Is Doug there?
Doug, Marcotti.
We still have It Will Cut.
Edge Weapons. It will heal. Yes, Edge Weapons expert and Kylie martial artist Doug Marcotti. Master Bladesmith Jay Nielsen has several episodes. They switch between the first couple in the 8th season are somebody I forget. It might be it might be Ben Abbott. I don't think so. But there's Jay Nielsen and somebody else, and then they have David Baker on all of them. Okay. Historic Weapons Recreation Specialist David Baker.
Gotcha. So Google is telling me.
I don't think I've heard 2-time Forged in Fire champion Ben Abbott yet. As you know, I have a thing about remembering things that nobody needs to know. The niche is real.
Hey, I know so much more about blacksmithing now.
And
I can be like, kids. Use the whiteout.
Right? It's every time it's like, he's not using whiteout. Well, that's going to be a disaster. And then it comes back with like a charred thing. It's like, I didn't use whiteout. Again, I haven't watched the show. I mean, it's
and read the directions. Make sure it's the right length.
It's parameters. it would be on if there were a crossword puzzle based on the show parameter.
Drinking game. It's a drinking game now.
And quench. If he quenches more than once, drink. If they try to forge weld something that's long and
Okay. Well, it is after midnight. Thank you all for coming. We'll do this again sometime when the stars align and, Cthulhu wakes.
And hopefully people won't be hold on, that's what Evie is saying.
Will be willing to share their words with us.
Yes, I hope we were nice because I tried not to be awful, but
it was a lot of bleeding on the page, and we recognize that can be really intimidating.
I have actually told people to stop doing it when they were doing it to me because I couldn't take it. Like, no, you don't mesh with this material, so just go away. Because I get that you're not gonna. Anyway, you have to go, and I have to.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you all, and have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Bye.